Welcome to VARINDIA News Hour. Atmanirbhar Bharat is reinventing the defence sector. Due to the policies of the government in the defence sector, especially in defence production, the country is becoming increasingly self-reliant. Of all approvals accorded for modernisation of armed forces in 2020 to 21, 87% were from Make in India category. India has a domestic defence industry of which 80% is government-owned. The public sector includes DRDO and its 50 labs, 4 defence shipyards, 12 defence PSUs. India has a new defence procurement, acquisition and manufacturing policy to reduce imports and enhance domestic manufacturing. India is poised to expand its footprint in foreign defence market. The world has taken note of the BrahMos deal, and several other Asian and African countries could be potential buyers of the missile. There are several other indigenous platforms that hold good export potential. The focus on boosting exports comes along with a renewed thrust on indigenisation of weapons and systems. India's defence exports have recorded nearly a six-fold increase between 2017 and 2021, growing from Rs 1,520 crore to Rs 8,435 crore. Defence items being exported by India include missiles, the advanced light helicopters, offshore patrol vessels, personal protective gears, surveillance system and a variety of radars. In the Indian context, the nation continues to face both conventional and non-conventional threats from its two inimical neighbours, the threats manifesting the entire spectrum of conflict on land, in the maritime domain, in the air and in space and outer space. This speaks to the need of have a strong defence architecture to negate all such threats. However, despite having a large defence public sector, there have been serious weaknesses in the indigenous production of land systems as well as platforms for the Navy and IAF, which has impacted India's defence capability. Since the last 7 years, however, we are seeing a distinct change in government policies which are now aiming to establish a strong and vibrant defence industrial base. Self-reliance in the aviation sector is vital for India to reduce its dependency for advanced platforms from external agencies. Sources said it was tragic that India abandoned its first indigenous fighter aircraft, the HF-24 Marut, manufactured by HAL, on extraneous grounds. Had we continued to develop the aircraft with upgrades, we could possibly have been one of the major powers in the aviation sector today. The defence sector is gradually being opened to the private sector, which is the need of the hour. While a great deal of time and resources have been expended on the public sector, it still lacks a capacity to meet even 50% of the requirements of the armed forces. To reduce imports, it is vital that the private sectors be roped in a substantial manner. The second issue pertains to leadership. The Ordnance Factory Board has been dissolved and the 41 ordnance factories it controlled have been converted into 7 defence public sector undertakings. These 7 new DPSUs, to be effective, cannot be run on the leadership style as existed earlier. Perhaps the time has come to infuse them with leadership from the corporate world, injecting into the system fresh ideas and accountability and a work culture which is focused on results, output and profitability. If the 7 new DPSUs can be made to perform like the private sector, it will give a huge boost to the Atmanirbhar program in the defence sector, especially as the government has opened the defence sector to exports. Finally, a lot of enabling legislation has been made and the private sector is gradually becoming an important player in India's defence sector. Let's look into today's headlines in VARINDIA. LG introduces new lineup of OLED TV in India. LG Electronics has announced the availability of its OLED TV lineup for 2022, including the world's largest selection of OLED TVs ranging in size from 106 cm to 246 cm for a customizable viewing experience. The range includes the world's largest 223 cm 8K OLED TV, offering the best picture quality. The LG Signature R OLED is the world's first rollable OLED television. LG is also releasing the LG OLED Evo in their C2 series. The price of an OLED TV starts at Rs 89,990 and a rollable OLED TV costs Rs 75 lakhs. Andreessen Horowitz announces $4.5 billion crypto fund. Venture capital giant A16Z announced the closing of its fourth cryptocurrency fund at $4.5 billion, bringing the total money invested in digital currency and blockchain business to more than $7.6 billion. The new investment vehicle will focus on early-stage ideas as well as projects that are more mature and have already shown some traction. According to the firm, $1.5 billion of the funding will be used for seed deals, while $3 billion will be dedicated to venture investments. Country Delight raises $108 million at $615 million valuation. Direct-to-consumer food essentials brand Country Delight has raised $108 million as a part of its Series D funding round led by Singapore-based Venturi partners and Temasek, valuing the company at $615 million. With this round, Country Delight has raised $147 million in funding to date. The company offers dairy essentials, fruits and vegetables at the doorstep of consumers within 24 to 36 hours directly from farms as it leverages its fully integrated just-in-time supply chain model. ABB acquires 72% stake in Numocity. Swiss technology company ABB's e-mobility division has acquired a controlling stake in Bengaluru-based electric vehicle charging solution startup Numocity in an undisclosed amount. With this transaction, ABB will increase its shareholding in Numocity to 72% from 7% earlier and would gain the right to become its sole owner by 2026. The transaction is expected to significantly improve ABB's position across India, Southeast Asia and the Middle East, which are also the target markets for Numocity. RBI cancels 5 NBFC licenses linked to app-based lenders. The Reserve Bank of India cancelled certificates of registration of 5 non-bank financiers citing violation of guidelines on outsourcing and fair practices code in their digital lending operations through third-party apps. The non-bank lenders whose licenses were cancelled by RBI include UMB Securities Limited, Anashri Finvest Limited, Chada Finance Private Limited, Alexi Trakan Private Limited and Juria Financial Services Private Limited. These companies are also not complying with regulations pertaining to charging of excessive interest and has resorted to undue harassment of customers for loan recovery purposes. That's all for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VARINDIA News Magazine. You can download the VARINDIA app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.